related related. Are you a Buddhist or Christian or
Buddhist.
Buddhist?
Politicist, so Buddhist and Taoist.
Buddhist and Taoist. Okay.
Politicist.
So how did you start as a Buddhist? How did you start? That we said Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How did you start?
Prof, I can't remember.
Not only for
No.
Sanjay, no.
Yeah, Amitofo.
But when you start something, you want to do something.
Prof, I'm not sure. Much more cultural Buddhism.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I'm not teaching, I'm just asking.
No, it's okay. But sometimes from the Taoist point of view, I pray to the God of knowledge.
God of knowledge.
Wen Changdi, the emperor of Wen Chang.
Wen Changdi.
That's a God of knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go and spread more Taoism in China now. Okay.
Pray for the dead, I will know. It's Amitofo, 回向众生. It is actually go back, let the good karma go back to the dead. We have another word to the dead.
Okay, we're praying for the living now.
Yeah, I need to pray a lot.
We're praying for the living now.
Alright, okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, live from Penang. This is your postgraduate group discussion, group supervision. Today's guest, we have Chang Yin Chang, all the way from Ipoh, where Michelle Yeoh was born. And what else is known in Ipoh?
Dim sum. Dim sum, yeah. Dim sum famous.
I want to try.
Dim sum is famous in Ipoh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of halal version also. So last week I just go to the halal version.
Okay.
It's quite nice.
Quite nice.
Nice, quite nice.
Eugene.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, next time you let me know when you want to go to.
After whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have this is an important. All are important, but this one is extra important because Chang will be on top of the hill about next week or so, 11 November.
9:30. Yeah.
9:30. Yeah, about the same time. So be on top of the hill. Because Viva is actually the top of the hill. You haven't finished yet because you're going to climb down. Right? Because climbing down is about corrections and all that. Still need to complete the whole journey. So, but it's an important journey, and this is the Viva. This is the presentation, pre-Viva presentation. So follow up from our 1 or 2 weeks ago. I think you presented as well. So this is an upgrade from there. So this is a very important presentation from Chang. So this is the test, test for before the real test. Right. Okay, Chang, all yours.
Okay, thanks, Prof. and friends waiting. Okay, this is Normandy landing. Right. Okay, immersed in the real situation. Okay, a very good morning to examiners, Prof and friends. It is good morning. It's an honor for me to present my work on the construction of Malay identity in national museums, a study on selected national museums in Peninsular Malaysia. Second slide. Thanks, Hanif. Okay, first of all, National Museums is actually a key institute for preserving, archiving, maintaining, and showcasing Malay identity in the nation-state framework. Its job is to reconstruction, and preserving Malay identity. The second one, museum is always actually a microcosm. A microcosm when it narrates the order of museum artifacts into actually a exhibitionary, and museum is not neutral. So it is actually how the arrangements come into the picture is by power. and the disciplinary of the be influenced by its exhibitionary discipline of the time. So, thus in museum studies, how we transform ancient ruin into meaning making is what we call it as giving an afterlife to the artifacts. In here, meaning making bring a meaning that it represents Malay identity. So my research question, the second slide, the research question is how do national museums in Malaysia portray Malay identity? The second one would be what are the historical narrative for the Malay identity in the museum display and museum diorama of the National Museum in Malaysia? Third, what is the typology for alternative discourse for the portrayal of Malay identity in the National Museum of Malaysia? The third slide. Yeah, honey, thanks. Okay, because of the time, my literature review is a pick on the classical readings. Miller and Andaya will tell us on the fluidityness of Malay identity. Tony Bernard and Simon Nee will actually tell us about power and exhibitionary complex. By Bernard, Nee will actually associate power, nationality, and museum. Meanwhile, Foucault will actually tell us on normalization on power and the orders of things in terms of what disciplinary ideology and value is actually narrate in the museum. Anderson and Hospen will actually relate museum heritage or museum artifacts tradition towards nationalism and identity. The third one. So here my research methodology is inductive research strategy. It is actually a case study research, and I cut it into actually typology as unit analysis. It generated from the literature review and the research question itself. 15 national museums are selected for the research. Yeah. Okay, so the finding here, the first these are actually the key finding. So museum is not neutral, but here I formulate evidence by Archenif gravestone. It actually transformed the artifact into actually a museum display that carry much more vital on Islamic element and the ornaments of the Islamic artistic have been highlighted, and typological maps to actually illustrate where is actually the Chinese gravestone are actually being pointed out. The second one would be there's miniature ship on actually in the museum, but it actually transformed into a representation on the Sriwijaya ship and the Majapahit Batra ship. And much more be highlighted, been labeled is the Pinisi ship model. Third, maps is always political construct. Maps has been actually reused to actually transform, to actually show about migrations, pattern of migration, which I will explain a little bit on number 4. Religious usage in terms of to show where is actually the popular area of Muslim in Nusantara, and maps is actually used to point out the maritime trade route in maritime Southeast Asia or Nusantara and placed on the sunken ship. Fourth, much more represented inside the museum on Malay sub-ethnic identity is Javanese, Bugis, Minang on the sub-ethnic Malay identity, and the regional identity of Aceh and Patani. Javanese were actually represented on more artistic matters, wayang kulit and musical instruments. Bugis and Minangkabau, which is on the maps on migration, the highlights on a primordial land for Minangkabau people would be Pagaruyung, Bugis people will be Sulawesi Archipelago. And you have a migration map of Minangkabau that use the lexical of migration. However, for the Bugis one is the world view of Merantau and the maps from the primordial land of Sulawesi towards peninsular Malaysia. Aceh's representation in terms of influential to the Sultanates, negative and positive. Patani would be the representation on Patani and Siam, Patani and Patani and Kedah, and Patani and Northern Malaysia. Okay, the museum exhibition about imperialism and colonialism. Portuguese bring destruction to the Malay world. Dutch possible is equal partnership to the Malay world. British is actually on treaty, the empires of paper, and also colonial modernity. Siam reduce into actually the golden flower. Malay manuscript here, much of it is actually used to represent in terms of Jawi text on the Islamic, much more in the Islamic period, and also Sains manuscript on science and technology, healing, and also nation-founding myth. Hang Tuah actually become representation, the Hang Tuah and Malay, Hang Tuah and the fighting scene with Hang Jebat. It derived from actually Sejarah Melayu and Hang Tuah, Hikayat Hang Tuah. Okay, so to answer my research question, I found that the order of museum display, it is not neutral, and national cultural policy is the power that actually orbiting much more on the museum. It's like every museum you have a little bit of substance, a little bit of Malacca substance. So thus, mostly the National Museum is actually Malacca centric. The substance absorbed inside national museums. And when it comes to Foucault, power is not by force, but it is a kind of normalization that will be internalized. So the order of artifacts reveals the normalization on a much more Malacca-centric. And the episteme of the time is actually, in the museum, it is actually Western modernity when it comes to so-called the history of progress. You make time into linear. And Benedict Anderson in Imagine Community is the museum binds actually the Muslim framework in Malaysian nation state. And the second one, the afterlife of the material culture, it transformed keris, the Malay dagger weapon, into a representation of Malay ethnic identity. The museums, the Malay daggers was a weapon, and it transformed into actually an imagination, not only Malay ethnic identity, but territorial affiliated. So it is actually in terms on nationalism and identity, it is actually projecting, sustaining the Malay Muslim framework in Malaysia. The colonial narrative in Malay civilization, I formally evidence that I want to address that the narrative is in an attack and react mode. So here, museum highlights from pre-colonial, early modern towards colonial, actually a little bit on post-coloniality. So it tried to legitimize the nation state as a continuity from Malacca Empire. The third research question, museum here, I will make an analogy, it is like a time capsule, it is a microcosm, and it's like the Inception movie, when actually, although it is actually linear in terms of Western organization, but museum is trying to create what we call it as the layers of time in heterophobia. So when it comes to heterotopia by Foucault, museum is actually an open space, but it is closed because it is accessible but restrict. Certain artifacts is actually deposit in its store rather than actually you make it into exhibition. Thus, it gives us a look in terms on opportunity to actually shape what I call it as the Nusantara cosmology, because besides the Westphalian nation state narrate on actually museum, this is yours, this is whose, this is what state. Elements, local knowledge like Tanah Air, Mandala, it is actually needed to actually debunk the Western nation state model and the Western model of actually a museum. And it can transform museum into actually a model, Nusantara as a model of cultural exchange. So here I propose that National Museum rename into Balai Warisan Negara and Nusantara. Okay, in the research contribution, the theoretical contribution and conceptual contribution is, it is possible, the first one, to expand an intersectional study about power, about heritage museum, and also power dynamics into study in terms of museum and build up actually what I call it as a Nusantara cosmology. So museum study are interdisciplinary in nature. I think this is needed in Malaysia as knowledge production as well. And then I found out that it's actually 6, although Malacca centric, but that is actually 6 historical sphere used to orbiting the museum. Alright, okay, I'm from CPR. So the policy contribution is, it is good from policy incrementalism point of view. Malay sub-ethnic identity can slowly add into actually the museum. it will actually increase the richness of the idea of Malay ethnicity in Malaysia, and not just only Malaysia, Singapore, Siam, and etc. Okay, all right. The third one, archiving Malayness on foreign policy use. I would like to mention Singapore from ISIS, from actually SOAS. They are actually the institute that keep on generating about Malayness. It's good that we portray Nusantara in terms on multiculturalism cosmology. Because you go to ACM Singapore, it will actually transform into we are the center of Maritime Southeast Asia when trade is prosperous and place to exchange idea. That place on the Asian Civilization Museum ACM. Okay, so in a nutshell, I found out that Malay identity in Malaysia is narrated in a nation-state framework, and Malay's ethnic identity still being represented in a Malay Muslim framework and a Malacca-centric framework. However, sub-nation-state, the Negeri Museum is actually much more preserving the so-called regional identity and also, the sub-ethnic identity. So that's why museum displays and museum exhibition, it is actually selected to construct and reconstruct and maintain about Malay identity in Malaysia. And museum is not neutral. Disciplinary power do actually influence when it comes to museum narrative. Thus, it actually influences the order of the artifacts. And museum texts are actually making it also, in the meantime, embedded in a fashion on Western modernity and also the nation-state framework. Okay, thank you, and humbly prepare for question. Right, okay, thank you. Next. Prof, sometimes it's 13 minutes, sometimes it's 16 minutes.
13, you have 13 minutes this time.
Okay.
13 minutes. Sounds like you're running a marathon or something, like a sprinter, right?
I try to, yeah.
Okay, so you're, it sounds like you need to catch your breath. Drink some water or something.
Yeah.
Pour some water, drink something. Okay, yeah. You're not even running, you're just sitting there. How do you feel, Chan? I'm not drinking the water first, is it? Catch your breath first, yeah.
It looks prepared, but whether it's nervous that day or not, then that's the thing. But sometimes when I look at the slide on until the slide of conclusion, the slide on research contribution, I would actually slow it down because I said, I look at the time, I got a little bit more time. So it's like until the research contribution, and I'm trying to slow down.
Yeah.
And something is not to say missing out. I try to be faster when it comes to heterotopia. I think I didn't explain much. But if I explain much, it will be more than 16 or 17 minutes.
Okay, I mean, 15, they have about 13 minutes there. It's okay, it's still in good place. You enter your discussion part on the 7 or 6 minutes.
Okay.
We enter the discussion part, which is good as well. Yeah, so let us see through now. You feel that you're rushing?
Yeah, I feel that I'm rushing like marathon.
Yeah. And the reason you're rushing is?
Put into 15 minutes, do not over 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay.
Try not to narrate until 15 minutes and giving an impression that people call you to stop and summarize.
Okay, alright.
I scared that day if I'm too nervous, I end in 10 minutes.
Okay. Let's just go through. Let us handle one thing at a time, right?
Okay.
Which is about you're rushing. It seems like you're on a marathon, and even though you're not running anywhere. So let's see look at your slides and see how you can manage it better, and you can do it much more mindfully, much more centered, like a good Buddhist.
Zen.
Zen Buddhism. How many slides do you have there?
I didn't calculate.
Twelve.
12, yeah. Okay. 12 slides.
9. Is it 9?
12 including
the title and thank you.
Thank you, okay. Let's go through your slide one by one. I just want to manage this at the time factor.
Appendix also.
I tried not to put appendix because it's 60 megabyte already.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of the picture.
Or even with the PDF.
Oh, a PDF, I think
PDF
will be
become
less.
Become less, alright. Let's see how many slides you have. So this is the title, right? The construction, and I just want to be slower now. Let's go slower. The construction of the identity in national museums, a study of selected national museums in Malaysia. Okay. I'm not sure about the doctorate candidate in ethnicity identity.
So I delete.
Is that you registered? Is that a code that you registered in, or?
I think that is in my student portal. It is the code that I registered.
Okay.
But not to trouble myself, I better delete.
You could delete it. Yeah. Alright. When you're sole supervisor, just take out the sole part. I know that, yeah.
Prof, I go and download the foreign countries slide, so
Yeah. Oh, okay.
it's very colonialism.
Yeah, that's all. Okay, that's interesting.
No, I deleted it.
Okay. Jim, what tea are you drinking?
你喝的什么？你喝的
什么茶？
什么茶？菊花茶。
Passion flute.
Huh?
Passion flute.
Passion.
Okay.
Yeah, passion flute. The joy passion flute, which is going to be dropped in the water.
百香果。
Vitamin?
Paisa.
No, not vitamin.
Okay. So no, thanks. But let's go. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I just want to see the overall. Okay, background of study. Alright, the next one. Research questions, research answers. So here, research questions, research objectives. You need to have S there, right? Research questions and more than one question. I'm sure there's there. Yeah, just make note. Yeah, questions.
Oh, okay.
Objectives. Right. It's okay. We'll go through one by one later on, even more in detail. Let's go through literature review. Alright. Okay. Research methodology. Alright.
结果怎么回事？
Findings. So the findings, we want to use the word key findings. Yeah, this is not all your
Okay, key findings.
Okay. I just want to see the overall first. Where were you rushing at that time? Okay, discussion. Next. Discussion. Next. Okay, next.
I think time is like I think I missed a word here. No, I think that's something the words missing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Bro,
Research contributions with an S, by the way. More than one contribution, right? Okay. Okay. So research contribution, then next, you see, conclusion. Alright, this is it, right? Okay, let's go. I just want to, the first and foremost, I think your state of mind, I think, is important to to make sure that you go in with a that state of mind that is empowered state of mind, not necessarily rushing through because of you have time limit and all that, right? So you want to spend less time on certain slide, right, and more on certain other slides, right? You can extend the time a bit more, and you can tell the chairperson, right, if I exceed my time, please stop me, and you can say that, right? So the tone and the speed you had just now was, number one, fast, right? It was fast, so the points might not be easily understood and easily digested. So when it's fast, so they are trying to chasing your car, so most of that. Number two, your tone was loud, which is good. I'm concerned whether the loud tone takes on a different dimension, which sounds like you're angry or something. You're angry so something a bit angry. So, it's okay to be assertive, but not necessarily angry, right?
No. Because in lecture, I don't use mic, so sometimes I used to
choose to
shout.
Oh, okay, shouting, that's the word. Yeah, so you don't need to shout. Yeah, you don't need to shout. And you speak assertively and firmly and all that. I do go into the shout mode just now. Right, I do go into the shout mode. So you don't have to. Imagine right now, instead of lecturing, you're explaining. Now you're going to explaining more. So you're explaining. So your mode of thinking right now, right? Communication mode is explaining. So you can just let me explain to you. I have about 5 or 6 slides, right, or 7 slides, right? Mm-hmm. I will start with 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? But I will skip the part that I think it is not essential.
So for certain parts, if I can skip,
You can skip, yeah. Or spend less time. So they can spend more time on somebody else. Right? So, so remember, you're explaining, right? So you're explaining, and because you be giving lecture, so have high confidence in your explanation. So you can explain it to people, you can explain it to them. So think about it that we are explaining and telling. Yeah, telling, right? So that's the important way. So for the rest of you too, you are not reading, you are not necessarily using the PowerPoint to you're not reading from the PowerPoint, you are explaining using the PowerPoint to explain, right? So that's the kind of like the mindset shift you want to have. You already have it. It's just bring it up, right? You have no problem with this one. Right? So we think about it. Your among colleagues, you want to explain to the colleagues, right? So that's the mindset thing. Other things that you want to look into is now today Hanif is controlling the mouse. Alright, so I'm going to let you control the mouse. So you need to be able to do that, or be familiar in doing that, right? So just last week or early this week, I think last week, when was my Bible? I forgot. There was one Bible. He did not move the slide. The chairperson reminded him, the examining the student, right? Was reminded him once, and then he forgot again. And so he did not move the slide, he keep on, so the slide did not move until later on, so make sure you move the slide. And then another thing, you can see the slide is in full screen right now, right? So usually what happens is, anything you like, reduce it to, but this is PDF, right?
Yeah, this is
PDF, you don't have to click the slide presentation, right? Slide, what do you call that thing, the PowerPoint?
slideshow.
Slideshow.
How to control this? Just enter.
No, it's go down.
Not enter, it's arrow using arrow. Almost right.
So that they are using PDF or okay. Right.
You control it.
Okay, they are using PDF.
But if you want to make it lighter, PDF. Be lighter.
Oh, make it like, yeah, make it lighter with PDF.
This is going to keep on using PowerPoint. Might be maybe 60 megabyte, right? So convert to PDF.
So 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll convert it to
This one I really want to do PDF.
okay.
Yeah.
So remember to scroll when you're doing this, right? As I'm explaining, because I see that you're explaining using your finger. Someone, I think that's what the guy was doing as well. He was with your finger or he was having two systems there. I do not know what's happening there. But yeah, he was this is like, right? So he wasn't like focusing. So was bad or something. So almost always submission. Almost, yeah. For the person, not me, not many people, but I'm like learning, I'm like getting to know. So remember to do that, and remember to do video to PowerPoint, slideshow, right? If not, make it full screen so that you can see, right? Okay, whatever the issue is comfortable, right? So the event supervisor will be here. Downstairs, right? Will be here. Or will be downstairs, our meeting room. So something like the environment, what's the word for it? Not landscape, landscape music. Terrain. You've got to master terrain. So you go there. I'm at the advantage of my father was also speaker and so this is before the event you will go, and it's also military guy. So we will go and circle the first 3 times to shoot to see what the lines, the cables, the secure, like that. And if you have got something to train also, yeah, half an hour, 1 day before that you set up a place. So you master the place, master the terrain, right? And then it's just yours, right? And this is not even like putting down, so like playing in your home ground. It's polygon and wood. Probably it will be downstairs, but I'm not sure. So it will be downstairs or here. Right, so master the environment. So if it's there's no problem. One of the seats, so this is one of the seats. Standing up. Which are the this is not my next point. My next point is that which is this. My next point is and then you go to the findings. Some really have very strong thesis. You just need to explain it, right? So I'm not worried about your thesis. If you have a strong thesis, it's about explaining, right? Now, talking about that, it's about standing understanding. I feel that if you understand and explain, it's much better, right? So you have to be able to do this because you have a lot of ideas here. Is that explain ideas? Okay. So when you're explaining, this is the point that
sometimes if the examiner is online, then it's a bit difficult to do this unless the camera is facing you. But we manage to have the camera usually open because I need to be not allowed to be during the Bible because I was a student, right?
Reduced into a ship model.
Malacca in terms of directions of the dot. Malacca. Okay, then we need to get Sultan converted into
Sultan converted into Islam. Yeah.
Yeah, you can highlight which one you think is important.
you can see out of this table you highlight
How can I use the word fascinating?
You could, only that there are people like Dr. Chang that says that's not good to use. He says fascinating, interesting.
It's fascinating. I find it fascinating too, but
So they say it's better to use important, relevant, so much more cognitive than emotive, you know.
Okay.
I'm okay with fascinating, by the way. I thought, you know,
academics should be fascinating. Some people like it. Well, it's okay.
they are not here to change people. We're here to explain. You know.
Okay.
They are examiners. So remember, we are not here to change them, right? Not to be right, not to change things. We are here to succeed. That's it. The game plan is to succeed.
Right. Crucial, important. Crucial, important. But I can even use word perhaps.
Fascinating, interesting for some. I can't use that word, yeah. But definitely important or relevant.
Important.
Yeah, I'm okay with a lot of things, you know, as a whatever, as a scholar. I'm okay with the details of, you know, methodology. You know. I'm not too concerned with methodology. I'm more concerned about the theory building more than anything else. But that's not how PhD has been examined. So this is the part you could also highlight? Because I see that you were really going fast in this particular slide, because there are 8 things, and then I'm not sure which one stands out as significant out of these 8 things. 8 key findings. Of course, they're all important, but because you might want to highlight certain things more.
Okay.
Okay. The other part, let's see your contribution or theoretical the discussion. Alright, okay. Okay. So here we have research questions, we have discussion. Or the how do national museums in Malaysia portray morality, the order. So how about doing this, Chang, yeah? Finding/discussion.
Finding/discussion.
Yeah. So your finding is actually answering research question, and you have discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
It's also, of course, it's also findings, right? Findings. After this, you go through the grammar again. You check all the grammar again. I might miss out certain grammatical errors, so you want to double check the grammar word by word. Yeah.
Okay.
You do have some grammar problem just now. I saw this now. I might come back to later on that one. The next one as well. You have 2 slides on discussion, right? That's another one. 2 or 3 slides.
RQ 1, 2, 3.
So yeah. So the other one is and before that, okay. So research question and then finding and discussion.
Oh, finding and discussion.
Okay, under your findings, go back to findings, Anna. We are making all these corrections first, so that. Okay, where were we? Islamic elements on the ornaments were highlighted. Were highlighted. Okay. All right. Okay, now Chan, answer. I'm going to ask a question. Okay, tell me. What's your research about?
My research is about museum, power, and Malay identity. Full stop.
Okay, because elaborate further.
Alright.
More like what's your keywords of your research?
Okay, my museum. Alright. Okay, my research is about national museums in Malaysia, where this museum dioramas, it is not, museum is always not neutral, and I'm looking at the orders of the artifact. It reveals actually how national museums narrate Malay ethnic identity in actually Malaysian nation-state framework. And in terms on power, disciplinary power do influence the narrative and the orders of museum artifacts, and I found that Malay identity and sub-identity is still represented in Malaysian, the selected national museums in Malaysia.
Okay, good. All right. So remember the 3-point strategy. I came with 3.5 point. There are 3 things, 4 things, 5 things. Remember to use that strategy. Yeah. Right. So you use the word you found is important. When somebody asks you what your research is about, right? Abstract is actually a good way to explain your research. That's the whole idea of abstract. Only thing abstract is a long paragraph, right?
Yeah.
But abstract, what is abstract? Abstract has objective, right? 1 sentence background, right? 1 sentence background has objectives, has methodology, has findings. Right, basically, right? You want to add some more? The theory contribution, right? So there are 5 different points there. So there's the 1-line research background kind of problem statement, just one line, 2 is the research objectives, 3 is the methodology, 4 is your findings, 5th is the connecting back to the theory, right?
Okay.
Theoretical contribution, so or theorizing, right? So when people ask what your research is about, that's abstract is a good way to explain what your research is about. So remember the points of the abstract there, right? You kind of explained it just now. I just want to give you a systematic way to do that. Okay, what is your, I'm going to jump a bit, right? What's your theoretical contribution?
A question.
Theoretical contribution.
The theoretical contribution would be, okay. The theoretical contribution is I try to explain about power dynamics, and to apply Foucault's idea on episteme in Malaysian framework. So episteme is actually the phrases of knowledge. What would be the phrase of knowledge in a particular historical context? Here the contemporary context, which is I found that museum is bounded with Western modernity. It actually illustrates in terms on history of progress. So I found that this theory can be incorporated in Malaysian context. Second would be heterotopia. It is actually like just a short elaboration. It is like grave in the Middle Age Europe, which is good about eternal world, but sooner or later grave actually move to actually the outskirts. It is about the representation of the dead. So in terms on meaning changes over time. What I mean is that, so heterotopia also, when Foucault's idea apply into museum, it is giving me actually to explain a theory that museum is actually on a layers of time. So you freeze certain thing that you can actually implant it in the museum. Sometimes contradict, sometimes it integrates together to actually have a loop of interaction in terms on, it will actually manifest on the order of the artifacts, and I found that this it applies into actually Malaysian museum. So I'm trying to use the I don't know whether Western point of view, those theories that can be applied universal or actually adjust in actually the local context of Malaysia, which is I think is important in museum studies in Malaysia or heritage study in Malaysia. So to develop this niche and field of study in Malaysia, this is important. The second thing that I wish to, in my slide just now, I wish to credited on Dr. Azhar Ibrahim, Malay Study NUS, on so-called historical sphere that actually narrated. I further explained Azhar Ibrahim. It was in a Zoom during the endemic period. So I found that, well, we talk about Melaka-centric. We talk about Hikayat Hang Tuah, Sejarah Melayu. But when you go to the sub-nation state of Kedah, the sub-nation state of Kelantan, you found that it is not just about the Melaka-centric. And you have the historical centric of Patani and Siam, and you have the historical centric in the northern Malay state. So when you talk about Sejarah Melayu and also the Melaka centric, if you're from northern, you will say that it is actually something happened on Tanah Ujong. Okay, where is Tanah Ujong? Tanah Ujong is actually Singapore, the Temasek. So this historical sphere do survive. But when it comes to Brunei and Sulu state historical sphere, it incorporates into Malaysia. Is the museum is trying to point out historical sphere of Sulu. It relates to Sabah. Historical sphere of Brunei. It is because of the Brunei territory. So this is the theoretical contribution that I try to actually. I would not humbly, I will not dengan secara rendah dirinya, I might not say theoretical that I would develop, but I would try to expand in the knowledge, okay, in heritage study or actually museum study. Yeah.
Okay.
This is how I narrate my lecture, like, if not go to blah 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 in front.
Okay, good. We are here to make sure that our session, our training session today matches the Viva, right? So this the challenge for us being lecturers, right? Who have been teaching, and we are used to our own mode of teaching. Like my brother there, he likes to do they like to scribble while he lectures, so he does that when his presentation.
Bro, I'm afraid when it comes to Malayness, I will round for 1 hour, 2 hours.
Yeah. So I'm here to make sure that we win during the Viva.
Keep on talking.
So again, a guide I give when we have a lot of things to say. Again, there's a 3-point guide, a 4-point, a 5-point. So tell the person who asked you that 3 things, or 4 things, or 5 things, right?
Okay.
You can start the way you started with me just now, right? You give me 3 keywords. Would you like me to elaborate? Then yes, please. You elaborate, right?
Okay.
So you got to be able to summarize your thoughts into 3 or 4 or 5, and you say 3 theoretical contribution, 4 theoretical contribution, 5 theoretical contribution, right? And there are many theoretical contributions, but let me highlight 3. You can say that. So if you like, I can highlight even more. Right? The 3 are 1, 2, 3. You use the word try just now.
I try.
Okay. So avoid the word try. We do not try. Like Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. Right? Watch Star Wars. Watch Star Wars.
I'm a fan.
Okay. Remember that Luke Skywalker tried to bring up that big ship, right? And then he cannot bring up the big ship, and then the Yoda bring the stone up. Right? He said, Master Yoda, stone is what is that? To bring up stone is easy, but the whole ship, that's hard. It's big, right? And then he said, always with you what cannot be done. Judge me by my size, do you? It's not size, right? Size matters not. And then said, okay, I'll try. Okay, you try.
Okay.
So try not, do or do not. There is no try. So avoid the word try. Okay, so in your explanation of the 3, there are many theoretical contributions, but 3, let me highlight to you 3. Right? Number 1, my theoretical contribution, my first theoretical contribution is to Foucault's theory. You want to talk about Foucault, right? Foucault's theory. Foucault explained this way, my contribution is this way. Right? It's easy to use. Either you challenge Foucault's theory, or you extend Foucault's theory, or you transform Foucault's theory. Right? Usually these are the theoretical contributions. Challenge is that Foucault say A, we say B. Right? Confirm or support. Foucault say A. Well, then yes, it's A, or A.1, A.2, A contextualized stimulation context. Yes, it confirms, it supports Foucault theory, or transforms. Foucault says A, but it's actually A plus B, or A plus B and C. So you're still maintaining Foucault part, but you're extending, you're transforming his theory. It's not A, but it's actually A plus B, or A.1, A.2, A.3. You can say that, right? So that's a simple way to capture theoretical contribution, right? One, I have many theoretical contributions, let me highlight to you 3, right? And then you say, Number one, it extends or it challenges or it transforms Foucault's theory or whatever theory, right? Another one, you say, because there is no theory before this, this is the first theoretical contribution about what, right?
Probably we can say that.
Of course you can. In the inductive, you can say that, even more. Inductive, abductive, you can say that, right? Because all this while there is no theory explaining what, now you have a theory that explains that. That is a theoretical contribution, right? Second is, for the first time we build a new theory of that. It's a theoretical contribution, right? So that's another theoretical contribution. Or if you're concerned about theory, or some students or some fields are concerned that you're building a theory, so I say, this is the beginning of a new theorizing. Beginning of a new theorizing. So it's not quite a theory yet, but it's a beginning of a new theorizing, right? Of a sub museum, or not sub museum. We talk about the sub-nation museum. So you can talk about it. Because I developed typology, right? You have typologies. Typologies are theory. Typologies are theory, right? So it's a theory, a theory of 4 typologies of museum. That's what it is. No, before you have more, right? More, right?
Six.
There you go. That is definitely a theory. Right? It's a theory of 6 typologies of museum. Portrayal of Malay identity. Right? So that is an article by itself, right? There's a theory by itself. So that is a theoretical contribution, right? So again, you want to go and practice. I want you to go and practice. What's theoretical contribution? 1, 2, 3. You need to know what those 3 are, right? Make it concise. If they want to expand, ask them. My first theoretical contribution is that I challenge or I extends or my work extends Foucault's theory. I can expand further if you like to. Number 2, I establish the research establishes a new theorizing on the typologies of the. The second, the third, I can say something. If you like, I can expand further. I can say that.
Prof, this is asking question only, or explain also during what?
You can actually do both. You can do both, but the explaining must be consistent with your slides, right? You can change your slide. Now you still have time to change your slide, right? So you could do that. You can have at least more than 1 contribution, but you can highlight 1, 2, 3, 4 contributions, right? So that's theoretical contribution, right? Now I'm going to ask you, what's your methodology?
This one is my weak point. Yeah, this one definitely my weak point. My methodology is embedded case study. Because because this is a national, is a study on national museums as a case study. Embedded because it involves several museum in the federal level and the sub nation state museum. So this methodology I'm using is inductive, and I'm using typology to actually build up themes and sub-themes to analyze, to build into unit analysis to search for finding. Of course, from inductive research point of view, that will be the 4th one. I go to the field to actually gather data, and this research is to actually explain about theory, and it actually elaborate in terms on a contextual explanation.
Good. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's good. That's it. The thing is to just note 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. It helps people to understand better, then it helps you to explain better, right? So you did mention about the inductive research strategy. You did mention about the methodology itself. You did mention about the data collection, which is analysis that turns into typology, right? And you can give justification as well. Right? So because you're embedded case study, one you look embedded case study. So again, remember the enumerating, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that helps. Okay, so it's not a weak point. It's actually your methodology is not very complex. It's because you're doing data collection of objective subjects or objective data. Right? You're not interviewing people. So in that sense, it's simpler. So it's not. You won't be your weak point. It's very straightforward. It's a strong rigorous kind of research you have, because if you look at 15 national museums, right? So that's the. Yuanling, I'm eating your. I'm eating rice now. It's so fun. Yeah, okay, all right. Now, let me go much more philosophical now. Why do you start? Why do you do this PhD? That can be a first question, by the way.
Okay, I think I could not answer this from my experience, right, bro?
Good.
Can
Yeah.
personal experience.
Exactly what the question is about. Yeah.
It's like a sharing, bro.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My late father is teaching in UIT, so I have an early interaction with Malays. I mean the kids of the UITM staff, and I'm from so-called the Chinese schools in Malaysia, but I have early interactions. And my father brings me to Bukit Tinggi, which is the Minang, and he.
Bukit Tinggi is Sumatra.
So Bukit Tinggi.
Because we have Bukit Tinggi is Johor also.
Bukit Tinggi, Sumatra,
Okay.
the primordial land of Minang.
Yeah.
See the Gunung Merapi, and I go to Toba, Tanah Toba, which I know about Batak. Okay, when I still in 13, 14 years old, and I go to, and my father bring me by long tail boat to Satu, to actually Hat Yai and Phuket. And my father speaks in Malay to ordering food. I was wondering why there's more. So why my father speak in Malay in Thailand? So I have actually developed me a stance that Malaysia is the state border is it is not limit to the state border. The second thing, this is the first experience. The second experience is I was in UKM. I was living in a residential college called Datuk Hon, and Atma is nearby. So there's 2 days the undergraduate can go in. So 2 days or 1 day, and the thing is that Alam Academic is an academic Alam Tamadun Melayu. We call it as Atma.
Malay civilizational world.
Center.
Alam Melayu. Civilization. How do you say? How do you translate? Malay World and Civilization Academy. Yeah.
Right. So in Atma, I think I do not know whether I saw actually a book on the rug. It is actually Japanese kanji or Mandarin, and I was fascinated because I thought Malay word is just only on the Malay archipelago. I said, what actually a Chinese word and or Japanese kanji word is in
The
the whole Perpustakaan Tun Sri Lalang, the main library and the academy. So I feel that it is actually the interaction was so huge. So that's where actually I learned about the Malay word and also the interaction on the sea and the water, which is so fascinated when everyone's come here. The last one would be for year 1. I met actually a professor, later professor, which is good in poem. He he actually explained a lot for me about the Malay philosophy, especially his thesis on Budi. Budi. So Budi is actually, if you the local knowledge in China would be 君子, 君子, gentleman. So, but Budi need to stand Budi bicara, Budi prakriti. You need to actually interact with certain things. So I think this is why I'm fascinated and I study about Malay identity and museum. Okay, but by the if I answer in terms on the literature review, I would actually I think these are the things.
That's actually the right answer, by the way. So usually when they ask you, usually they want to know your personal journey. So that's excellent answer for that question, right? It'll be lengthy, it'll be long, but it's a good answer for that because it gives you a good personal context to the journey of Malaysia, and that's the type of answer they're looking for when they ask that kind of question. What's your motivation? Why do you start? What inspired you? Those are the line of question. Like why? If you want to clarify, you can ask. Is this why I answered it professionally or do I answer it personally? Okay. You can answer that question. Professional, you can do the literature review, whatever. But personal, usually they'll ask or one of them will ask. One of them who is usually a much more senior person will ask.
Or either the personal experience or professionally.
Yeah, I can ask. Can it be professional or personal? But usually, what inspired you, that's in my experience. The senior folks tend to be much more going into, what's your journey. The junior folks, I have this problem with this. Why they go straight into the thesis? They go, for me, the scholar part doesn't come up. It's the technical part. The yin doesn't come up. Yang comes up. The technical why, so.
And I like something that is made by woods. So I can look at the artistic of the Malay architectures, even the ornament on the Chinese gravestone for a very long time. Because I like things that been craft on the wood. That's why I like the Malay architectures, any ukiran kayu. So the ukiran from Dynasty Tang and also on the Shinto shrine of the Japanese architecture. I'm fascinating on it. So I can look at actually at the artistic for a very long time. So to expand.
Yeah. That's good that you have the artistic eyes. My artistic eye only come alive when there's a social interpretation. Or my environmental eye also only come out when there's a social interpretation. So when I travel abroad or whatever, they ask me go and see this place, go and see that place, this is really cool. I appreciate nature, but I'm not too inspired to go see nature. If I not go nature, I can go to Malaysia, I can go to the beach, like that. I'm not saying, but there's a community living over there. Like Gunung Bromo, there's a Buddhist community being they're marginalized, and they set up a village there. Then I'm interested to go. Gunung Bromo per se, I'm not interested, but I like to see the social phenomena of how people experience the gunung. That I like to see, right? But to see, there's a lot of kawah. I think a lot of this crater in West Java especially. West Java and Bandung, there's Tangkuban Perahu and all this kawah putih banyak sekali. Okay, I've seen one, I've seen it all, so that's no big deal for me, right? Or the Candi in Jawa Tengah, a lot of Candi there, right? So if you look at the Candi or what, right? You don't know what, but you need to know the story behind it, the history behind it that gives me. But you have that artistic eye, you can really like the shape and all that. I'm not too inspired with the shape of things, which is good that you have that. But I like the story behind the things. That part I like. That makes me much more sociological, So even though like I remember I went to Chicago, New York, New York, right? New York, Chicago. New York, right? So I was a Marxist convention, so they took me to the streets to explain, some, the Beatles was killed here and all that. It's the streets, right? Streets are streets, right? But it gives me meaning to the context of the street. You know what I mean, right? So I like that. This story, and I can see the people, how people interact. That part I like. So it's like different, right? If you go like for those of you who have not been to Yogyakarta, I recommend Yogyakarta more than Bali. Listen to me, yeah. If you go to Indonesia, you don't go to Bali, it's fine. You don't go to Yogyakarta, you have not been to Yogyakarta, you have not been to Indonesia yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be my take, right? Yeah.
Then in the future, I need to baptize myself in Jogja.
We must, yes. Because Jogja, right? Yogyakarta, there's a line in Yogyakarta, right? Beginning with the castle, the istana.
Istana.
Chinese, how do you say istana?
Is it the royal one or
The royal.
garrison? Huanggong.
Huanggong. So the palace, right? Istana, the kraton. Kraton is a straight line that connects to Borobudur.
Oh,
Borobudur is a Buddhist
this is
temple.
how they do it.
The other line goes back, there's Prambanan, which is Hindu. So Hindu, the Kraton is Muslim lah. That time before that was Hindu, but then now it's Muslim. And then there's the Buddhist. You go down further. There's Gunung Merapi, the volcano. So there's a bit of old Java there, right? And then you go further south is the Laut Selatan, what's it?
India.
The mysticism of Roro. The Ratu Laut Selatan, the queen of southern ocean, which is another figure, a mystical figure. So there's all in a straight line.
Okay.
So you can see the evolution, the transformation, the connection, the connectivity of religion, of the history and all that. So in Yogyakarta, you don't find that in Bali. You find a lot of Australians, Russians, Ukrainians, right? Yeah, in Bali, rubbish as well. Rubbish can find as well. Malaysia as well, a lot of rubbish there, right? So if you go to Indonesia, if you have only one place to go, you go to Yogyakarta, where Hanif is. Not because Hanif is there, because
then I need to go to Jogja. I really need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must go.
Although Yogyakarta is not my favorite city in Indonesia, but my favorite city is Surabaya. But Yogyakarta is, Surabaya is my favorite city. But
Why though?
because it has three elements, or like three.
Is
Some
crowded?
Huh?
Crowded and hot.
It is, because people see the crowd. So, Surabaya is a city of where independence started. Kota Pahlawan, warriors, a city of warriors. So you have Bung Tomo, how they come out and fought the British, and then the Dutch, tore the flag of the Dutch. Right? So there's an independence movement there, right? The whole history there, although the history was not very obvious when I first went there, now they're building the history back, finally, right? So there's a bridge, there's a story, there's a Tugu Pahlawan there as well, Tugu Pahlawan. So, and then it's also it's a city of ports, submarine, right? So it's a pelabuhan, right? So it's like Penang. So it's like Penang. So there's a port story. There's Surabaya means Surabaya, the shark and the crocodile. So the kind of symbol. It's an equilibrium of the shark and then and crocodile, Surabaya, right? Yeah. So there's a submarine there. There's museum is a port. You can go to can go to the apa namanya the naval park.
Yeah.
Universitas Hang Tuah is also there. Universitas Hang Tuah, the University of Hang Tuah.
They use the word of
There is Hang Tuah there, right? There's a navy, so and so there's the other part, and there's also a quota religious. So they have the Masjid Cheng Ho, Zhen He Wei Jiao Tang over there. There's Sunan Ampel there, Sunan Bungkul there. So it's also a religious place.
So that representation is Hang Tuah and Islam.
Hang Tuah Islam, Cheng Ho.
Here is Hang Tuah, third and belakang.
Yeah. But this is Surabaya lah. And the last one, which I don't tell about, the culinary part is nice.
Yeah.
Selalu
Surabaya.
And then it has these branches throughout, which is the Malang, all the Madura and all that. So it's like part of the other one. But the real one is Jogja lah. I would say Jogja. If you haven't been to Jogja, you haven't been to Indonesia yet. So going back to this, your point just now, that personal story is a good story to tell, right? So you capture that the theoretical contribution, you need to be able to say 1, 2, 3, 4. What's your research about? You need to be able to say. Remember, you abstract, right? You have the object, you have some little background, right? Simple background, and your research questions, and your methodology, and your key findings, and connect it to the theory, right? Methodology, she explains it now. Theoretical contribution, I repeated twice already. Right? What else that you and the rest I've explained to you just now. Go in with the mindset of explaining, right? Explaining. Okay. Go in with mindset explaining. Go with nice pace. Do not need to be too slow. Do not need to be too fast. Mindful. So the whole Buddhist mindfulness can come in here. Yeah, Buddhism is a lot about mindfulness, right?
And the Zen.
The Zen, here and now, not think about this and that. Just here, me and now, you and me are communicating now. Right, that's it, right? That's Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching this movie as Netflix called Murder Mindfully. Have you watched it, man? It's interesting. It's a German series called Murder Mindfully. It's about murder. It's very mindful murder. So it's like breathing. But it's a murder. Okay.
Like the Jedi temple.
Like a Jedi. Always about the Jedi. Let me see. Go through a bit more. Remember, please check the grammar word by word.
Oh, okay.
Right? Check by the grammar word by word. I think you have your slides are good. Just make sure they are there. You ready, Chang, for the Viva? So 1 week from now. So everyone know, 1 week. Yeah.
1 week.
Not even 1 week.
I can calculate hours.
You can calculate hours. I don't calculate hours. It's 11, right? 11. So 5 days.
Next week.
When you reach Viva, you reach the top already. But there are guardians at the top, right? It's like when you go to the temple, there's guardians, you got to go in first. So when you complete the Viva, then you have to open the door and go inside the temple.
So sometimes I'm nervous because those are the veteran professors.
Yeah.
Professor.
Yeah, again, you have a strong thesis. You are not fighting them. They are reading your work. You have a wrong thesis. They will evaluate your work. They want to meet you, and you just explain your thesis. Explain. You have your thesis. Explain. Make sure you tag your thesis right. All the 12 principles I mentioned to you. Just tag. Tag chapter 1, chapter 2, where the research questions are, which page, right? So you don't go looking for that way, Already the 12 things I mentioned. Yeah, just so be mindful, be ready.
I have question.
Yeah.
Alright.
Saya penasaran. Ini terkait metodologi. Kan ini induktif ya.
Okay, sorry.
You use inductive in your observation, in museums, another museums, and then you create a team, and you found the team, and then from the team you try to analyze, discuss it with the power, like power of Foucault.
Yeah, and also Foucault.
So I want to know how you discuss from the observation, which is this is a team based on observation, and in the other side you try to discuss it with the power, which is power is related with the also agent who's person with the agenda with behind this display museum.
Alright, okay. Let me is it rephrase your question?
Sure.
Let me rephrase your question. First, you're looking on power, the museum display, and how actually I actually in terms of inductive. Am I right? Okay, right. Okay, here I would first of all I will actually the power part. We have two things. One is actually in terms of the derived from actually Foucault.
Too close to me,
Okay, Foucault, and I also actually also use the concept from Andayas and also Miller on explaining on Malay identity. So the power and also Malay identity. So it is actually from my research literature review and also research question that construct my typology based on power and so-called Malay ethnicity. Okay, the power that I found here is mostly that Malaysia will actually, the museum as a knowledge production institute and cultural production institute is guided by a state doctrine called it as national cultural policy. So
you said it based on the history.
No, in terms on the manifestation on power.
You got the data from?
The
You
data.
said that this is a manifestation. There is a setting behind it. What's your data?
The data is from 15 museums, and I record all the museum display. So in each dioramas, I recorded and I actually made into a list and I put into actually the typology to categorize it. So in terms on national cultural policy, you have three objectives. In terms on the absorption on Malay in Nusantara, it's about you absorb cultural elements from Nusantara, others' culture, and also projection on Islam. So I will build out. This is actually on the Islamic items that are affiliated to Islam. Bugis sub-ethnic identity, Bugis Jawani sub-ethnic identity. As long as it is sub-ethnic identity. So I from the literature, from actually in the sense of how actually I look at Malay Muslim framework, I look at actually to grab sub-ethnic identity items, we call it as museum display, to actually put it into the categorization to build typology, and it transform into findings. So 1, 2, 3. This is how I can answer.
It's a good question there, Joanne. Maybe one of the things that you could do, in your thematic analysis, your inductive analysis, the whole chart you have, right? I think you have a few pages of them, I think.
Okay.
Put it after the thank you. Is the one in your thesis, right?
Thematic.
The elements. What word we use, Asa? The diorama.
The diagram, all museum diagram, all the keywords. Right?
The keywords there, but then each diorama, do you have certain elements in there, right?
Alright, okay.
Yeah, and you kind of analyze.
Oh, I put an example. Okay.
Right?
Probably you say I put all the list.
Yes, if you have the space at the end. After thank you, not before.
Alright, okay.
So if somebody were to ask Joanne's question, which
The artifacts.
which is a possible question they ask. If they haven't read yet properly, which can happen, right? So you want to show that because that shows the rigorousness of your work,
Okay.
right? So I think you have your chapter there, you have your
Oh yeah, I think this is.
your thesis there. Yeah, your finding.
Also, I don't go and flip the finding. So it's like this.
Yeah.
我们就10分
一般都没有，我们要这个，我们要这个，没办法，
You have the table, no? The table. That's the table.
合理灌水。
Yeah, that's the table.
That's the table.
Yeah.
I remember you had
办
the
法，
table.
办
这是不是得弄得大一些啊？那我们是不是得弄得大一些？
Okay, that's the one.
楼下这种，
This the one. This the
楼
one.
下学生区就
Did you remember?
在哪儿啊？免费的吗？
就在学生区里，
That's I think the table.
大家一起
The
打起来，
table.
Very good. Yeah. This is the one.
这
Yeah.
种的就教
Typology of Chinese gravestone.
还有专门帮你。
This is when you reach a higher level already. This is one is typology
这
already,
是
right?
中版的，到时候还要再弄。
Mana no.
这个
Yeah, that's I think the table of the
Table. This is the table, right?
It's all the table that it is the findings.
Okay. You can put some of that in there.
Okay.
我连 PT 都看。
I
It's so
hear
good. Yeah.
I hear about phobia. Identity phobia or what is phobia?
Phobia?
You are finding a phobia, culture phobia or
Heterotopia. Okay.
what is hetero?
Oh, heterotopia. Right.
Well, I can talk about phobia.
What is hetero?
Yeah, let me explain this.
Heterophobia?
Yeah. Heterotopia. Heterotopia.
Yeah, I get utopia or something else.
Okay, it's okay. It's actually derived from Michel Foucault.
Michel.
Okay. Yeah, Michel Foucault. Michel Foucault's idea. Although Michel Foucault do not talks a lot about museum, but Czech literature we use this in museum, parks and gardens, grief. When actually it is like a world between world. Here I use an analogy called the Inception movie. It's like you are making actually a layers of meaning. I want to actually show that meaning changes over time. It is like it's like if you saw in New York, okay, possibly I have never been to New York. It is like just now the grief. The grave, it is actually from the city, you move it from the expansion, you move it into actually rural area because in the past it's something fascinating to relate it into an eternal life, but it actually moved into actually the outskirts because the latest is it associates into death, so we do not want to see it, so it moved the grave into outskirts. So meaning changes over time. So, but museum, it actually enable us to actually look at things that is freeze, but in a endless explanation. So, besides the nation-state projection on museum, the first one, nation-state projection. Heterophobia gives actually a look, an alternative look when you look at local knowledge on Tanah Air. Because we always think that other state, so Surabaya to Temasek, it is like sea. But in the past, sea is part of land. I mean, it is part of territory when it comes to the local knowledge. Trade. Something, the second would be the discourse that need to construct is beyond the nation-state framework. We do not mention that the sea is part of the trading network community. When you have sea peril, like GPS nowadays. Okay, you're from China. We are the GPS high, and here is actually Temasek, Surabaya, blah blah blah. Okay.
At that position, you can explain how the transformation is based on document,
Based on
not based on the observation, right?
the observation.
Cannot answer, cannot explain like you are explained.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's why it's inductive.
the theory.
That's why it's not abductive, it's inductive.
The theory itself can explain. It is more than the nation state framework.
In this case, observation, document is analysis, there is a discourse analysis between observation and document and become a narration about the power.
Yeah.
I get the point.
The Michelle who used the orders of things, the orders of using artifacts.
It can be document become a primary data or
Yes, yes.
This is part of primary data.
Could be, yeah. In this case, because these are the objects, right? The Rama is like, they arrange a scene, but in a 3D scene, right? 3D with the patong, say the statue, the small statues or big statues, right? So Chang would take a picture of that and analyze it as data.
The narrative, why you put this, why you put it here, why you put it there, there is actually a meaning.
Yeah.
Meaning from document.
Meaning from museum display.
Museums.
Museum display.
It's just like it's just put in a space, and why these things are right here, why these things are right here, or just going to be like a display of some power of something else. It's just according to Foucault's idea. So actually, I think Joanne's question was just basically just question Chan's your theory genetic generation a theory from inductive or deductive ways. So
Foucault is in critical discourse analysis. So the discourse here is actually
so he's just
the data from the museum.
display the general patterns, how the museum display the power of it could be some kind of blur ideology things or something else like that.
Aside from
I'm going things round and round. Recently now in Kedah State Museum, we have bunga emas, but not last time. In 10 years, I don't see bunga emas. So bunga emas is the tribute you given to Siam. You tell Siam, please do not attack me. But of course, you have multiple interpretations. So 3 years, you need to actually. Siam Lo is Thailand. Thailand.
Sorry, Xian Luo.
I always use this term to remind me that they are aggressive. My claim is you are not aggressive. Why you annex Patani? Why you inherit Patani? That's not your state.
Yeah.
Okay, the bunga emas is actually a golden flower tree, 一个金花树. You need to give them 3 years for one. So Perlis, a small state might be small. Kedah, a big state might be big. Terengganu, Kelantan might be big. Okay, now they have a whole replica already. And the fascinating thing is they include the silver flower tree, which is, we remember golden flower tree, but we do not remember the silver flower. And we also do not remember the precious gift called Hantaran. So the tribute is huge and big. So we turn to Malaysians or Siam and colonization, just the golden flower is much more than that. So that's heterophobia allows me to an alternative discourse. It is more than what the nation state is projecting.
No, that's that is the discussion part, and that's where the debate might comes in. So, depending on the examiner's perspective, but your perspective, I sense that won't be too contradictory to the examiner's perspective. But maybe not, right?
Okay.
But be willing to, accept that there are multiple interpretations. Right? So even the bunga mat, the golden flower, some sees it as friendship. Naungan, what's the word for it? Naungan. It's just an English word for it. Tribute. Tributary state. Yeah. Just like Lanka and China. Tributary state. Right? There was a relationship in Malacca and the Ming dynasty.
朝贡体系. But when I read,
So there's another interpretation though.
because I read, I'm fascinated on traditional, so I go and purposely read Siam and Kelantan, I think Malay. So it is actually the writing on how Siam attacked Kelantan.
Yeah.
So I think your tribute will come to attack me for what?
Yeah. There's a story, and I'm writing one book basically on that one. There is a empire known as Majapahit, the second Majapahit, and the location is in Kelantan. Kelantan is the first thing, and Kelantan has a terrace Majapahit there. So the history report is one of the sultans of Kelantan abdicated this Turun Takhta, stepped down from his sultanate to marry one of the royal queens of Majapahit. Majapahit had two queens, if I'm not mistaken, not just king, but as a queen. Or at that time was the daughter, the granddaughter, to get married. So when he got married, at that time, so his brother took over, become a sultan of Kelantan. At that time, Kelantan had another name. Sains came and attacked. And then Majapahit, together because he's married to the Majapahit kingdom, right? When sent a armada to fight back. So fight back, defeated Sains, defeated Siam, defeated Thailand. At that time it's not Thailand and Siam, right? Hence established Majapahit kedua, is it? Named as Majapahit kedua, the second Majapahit empire. So. And because of that, there's a terrace. Until now, until today, there's a terrace. Majapahit, there's put in the museum in Kelantan. I don't know where museum ada. I think it's in the museum. I don't know whether they put it in the museum or in the istana. I don't know.
They have actually a very big crisp replica, but I think they don't have that lead.
I can check some comparison. The name is Majapahit. So a strong connection between Kelantan and
story.
yes. And don't forget, there's a Kelantan there's a city in Jawa Tengah in Kelantan. Kelantan. Then Kelantan called themselves Kelantan, right? It's not Kelantan. Kelantan. Local. Kecil Kelantan. In Jawa Tengah. Not far from Jogja. Next to Jogja, next to the province. It's actually part of the whole Majapahit. And you find Kelantan food sweet, right? Yes, Jogja food is so sweet. Jawa Tengah food is so sweet.
Okay.
Kelantan has wine food, right? Yeah. Jogja has wine food, and Kelantan has wine food.
Okay.
How come the Bible doesn't have? How come Quran doesn't have? If you talk about cultural evolution, right? How come they use all this southern states and then they come to northeast, right? Northeast, yeah. How why, right? That doesn't make sense, right? If you talk about cultural evolution, they kind of
mean that what can we eventually make, right? Eventually we don't understand this. This is very really. But that's something like this, why the Allah, why so interaction to actually different kingdoms and all that. But in particular, the cultural behavior that is like agriculture is strong. And they have this in Jawa Tengah and Jogja that is famous for Nusantara, right? Over there, agriculture. It's socially. So it's just, it is the belief that the meaning that there's a lot of culture and a lot of history. I think it's very Nusantara and not for us to look at this. Because they have a system that they all use for the capital. Okay, I think we take a 2-3 minutes break. Too much water. Yeah, the more was kind of I think that they like punching here, cannot get there, punching here, I'm like invisible, like cannot make it break.
Darren, can you turn off my switch there? Thanks.
Thank you for the training for preparation. You can explain.
Wow.
Okay. So Sunday you are here, right? Sunday you are here, or
yeah.
Saturday you are here.
I'll come in at 8:30.
Right. So you come in, you should come in. The same channel you were there, your Bible last time. Okay. Your people here. Who studies Bible. Anyone, have you all attended Bible before?
I think
I think it's online, right? It's online.
Very long time ago.
UMS.
Oh, ni lah. Ini Muhajirin.
oh
Dr. Maharaj.
Allah, ya, Muhajirin. All these are naughty examiner, right? Was Prof. Silva one of them?
Can't remember.
I forgot. But one of them has passed away, I think. No, Prof. Silva is one of them. Prof. Silva. I remember Prof. Silva was making some of this methodology. This comes from real methodology, quantitative phenomenology. What in the world is that, right? Gila tu, ya Allah, mana? There's no such thing.
I cannot imagine.
Basically, he take the qualitative, he analyze it by looking at the frequency of recurring things.
And qualitative first, and then coding using quantitative.
They do some
Doing
frequency
correlation
count.
of the thing.
But he didn't do correlation, he just do frequency kind of thing.
Wait, what?
And I think so.
Quality refers to the quantity.
Those are expert in this study.
Terminology.
Hopefully it's not Prof. Samsung.
Not expert. They're familiar with Malay culture, Malay world kind of.
Analyze using coding.
Okay.
Must be that.
So-
What I'm saying is that
So just
they
like
use
a-
Malay words.
from
Yeah.
two direction to one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because your
How did you
studies from
how that could be used on campus?
Air, mandala.
You could use those,
Okay,
yes.
mandala.
Okay guys, Hansen ready? When are you coming here, Hansen? I think soon, last year the same soon also come, right? I think 1 or 2 years ago I had soon as well. But soon hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah. So actually, it's soon a name of someone.
I know, my best friend when I was studying, his name is Sun Sing.
Okay.
Wang Sun Chen.
Okay.
Sun Sing, yeah. He has passed away since then, but his name is Sun. Or Sun Yat-sen is also Sun, right? Sun Tun San-sen is also Sun. Okay, Hansen, when are you coming? Next month or next year or what? Oh God, it's just Okay, go ahead and share. Let's make it happen this time, Hansen, right? Study on cross-cultural adaptability of Pakistani postgraduate study. Hold on. There's some system. Okay, now it's right.
Cross-culture.
The number of international students in China continues to rise. Their social integration and academic performance in China has gradually become the focus of the public attention. According to the latest data on the web, research on cross-cultural adaptability of Pakistani students in China mainly covers a wide range of undergraduate and postgraduate students, but no in-depth discussion has been conducted specifically for Pakistan postgraduates. And in addition, there also is a lack of longitudinal follow-up studies. So by conducting follow-up surveys on the cross-cultural adaptability of Pakistani postgraduates at a different time, at different time points, like the upon enrollment, a few months later and a year later, it's possible to observe and analyze the trends and influencing factors of their adaptability, thereby gaining a better understanding of the dynamic changes in the adaptation process. And this research will based on Collingwood's adaptation process model as the theoretical framework, and combined with the specific identity of Pakistani postgraduates. And this paper will also conduct an in-depth analysis of their life and learning adaptation in China from key dimensions such as psychology and language, social, cultural, academic, and interpersonal communication. In terms of interpersonal communication, the research will pay special attention to the characteristics of the graduate student group and focus on their relationship with their supervisor and their participation in academic activities. And in addition, this paper will also explore the positive correlation between these factors and cross-cultural adaptability from the multiple dimensions, such as language ability, interpersonal relationship, understanding Chinese society, and satisfaction with the life in China, and explore the correlation between cross-cultural adaptation ability and academic performance of Pakistani postgraduates in China. Through this study, we aim to review the different difficulties and the challenges faced by Pakistani graduate students in different stages, that means different times of their adaptation in China, and provide empirical support and strategic suggestions for promoting their cross-cultural adaptation. Research questions and objectives. And the first one is what challenges do Pakistani postgraduates facing in studying and living in China? What are the main areas of difficulty they face? And to find out the key difficulties in the study and the life of Pakistani postgraduate in China at the different time. And what are the key factors that affecting Pakistani postgraduates studying in China at different stages, different time, is to explore key factors at different stages, different times. How does the cross-cultural adaptability of Pakistani postgraduates affect their academic achievements in living and studying in China? And analyze correlation between different aspects of adaptability and academic achievements. Conceptual framework. The adaptability of Pakistani graduate students in China, it will focus on the academic and the social, cultural, language, interpersonal communication, psychological, daily life, and natural environment adaptation. And assuming that those factors like the language ability, interpersonal relationship, and how they understanding the Chinese culture, and if they satisfaction with life in China. If these factors has a positive relationship, yes, with adaptability. So these factors will be the different with a different time in China, and in each stage will have a different manifestations. And finally, to find the different stage, the adaptability and the relationship with the achievements they get. Research method. The approach is qualitative, and the instrument and interview, and the research strategy is induction. For the sample, I will choose a high-level university in China. In these universities, the international student education in China started in 1996, and the university has a large number of international students. And meanwhile, it has also achieved the highest level in the evolution of the quality of international students studying in China. So it's representative to choose this university. And 10 masters and 10 PhDs from different majors will be selected, and it will have a half male and half female. And in order to ensure that the selected samples have better explanatory power, the interviewees need to meet the following criteria. The Pakistani students who are pursuing a postgraduate degree. And in this interview, we will select the new graduate students who register in September 2024 and will start a 1-year longitudinal tracking. The time notes are like the 1 month to 6 months later and 1 year in China respectively. And how to design it? Qualitative in-depth interviews are the main data source of the study, and the interview test will be analyzed by the MaxQDA software and adopt the 3-level coding rule in the grounded theory. Proceed the line open encoding, XU encoding, and the selective encoding, and summarize the influencing factors of the adaptability of Pakistani postgraduates and the relationship between the variables. And in this study, the face-to-face interviews with participants will be conducted, respecting each respondent's preferences for time and location in order to establish trust in a private and comfortable environment and facilitating a deeper communication. And according to the Sains three-round interview structure, the first round of interviews focuses on life experiences and aim to capture and understand in detail the cross-cultural adaptation experiences of Pakistani postgraduates studying in China. The second round of interviews concentrates on the details of their experiences and specifically focusing on the conditions of Pakistani postgraduates studying and living in China. The third round of interviews encourages a reflection, allowing Pakistani postgraduates studying in China to reflect on the significance of their own experiences and to achieve the goals of each round of the three-round interview. Dobrila and Truman used a 90 minutes interview format, and the interval between each round of the interview was controlled at around 3 to 7 days. And for my this interview, I want to complete this third round interview at one time. And here is all the references. Okay, thank you.
Forgot. Yeah, I can start from the beginning again, Hansen. Right, all right. Scroll down. Study of cross-cultural adaptive Pakistani study in China. Okay. The topic that you're interested in is not just cross-cultural adaptability. You're also interested in academic performance. Am I right? Hansen?
Yes.
Okay. So the title, you don't have to do it now. You go back to you can write down or you can go back in the recording, you can hear this. So it should be cross-cultural adaptability and academic performance of Pakistani postgraduates studying in China, because you're interested in those two, right? Not just cross-cultural adaptability, you're also interested in the academic performance. So the title should reflect that. Cross-cultural adaptability and academic performance of Pakistani postgraduate study in China, right? And then this is specifically the sample you're going to take from your university. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So semicolon, dot. The case you're doing the case of whatever university is. Yes. The case of which university are you at?
Sorry, Professor, I didn't hear
Which
you.
university are you taking the sample from? Which
Sample from.
the university that you are.
Yes, I select a sample from my university.
Okay, you put the name of university in there. The case study of Hanchen University. Okay, whatever the name of your university, right? Okay. The case of Hanchen University. Okay. Or the title, it can be like this as well. Cross-cultural adaptability and academic performance. The case of Pakistani postgraduates in Hanchen University, China. Right? Okay, I don't know what the name of university is. I asked you, but you didn't understand my question, but it's okay. You got my point there. Okay, so that is the title. You have two options for a title. Yeah. Alright, and then move to the next one. Move to the next slide. Scroll down. Next slide. Enter. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Go on further. More. Problem statement further. Okay. Hold on. Okay, good. Next slide. Okay. Okay. Colin Watt's adaptation process model. Put that in mind. I'll come back to that one. Go down.
Sorry, Professor, could you repeat the question?
Scroll down first.
Scroll down.
All right, stop there. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna ask you now. You're doing grounded theory, am I right? Or you're doing grounded theory?
Sorry.
Are you using grounded theory? Grounded theory. Grounded theory.
韩正，指导教授问你，你是在用扎根理论吗？
Yes, grounded theory.
扎根理论 ，yeah.
扎根理论 ，yeah， 扎根理论。
Yes, yeah. Grounded theory. 扎根理论。
蚕草猪根。
Yeah. It's a thing where root, but actually. 这也太狠了。
It means potong cut the grass and take away the roots. That's how strong the Chinese proverb is. You don't just cut the grass, you take away the roots.
That's too cruel. That's too cruel.
That's a Chinese philosophy there. Don't just cut the grass. Cut the roots. Oh, right. 复杂的渣
Is it 扎？
对。
It's like you
stab.
Stab.
扎根理论。理论 is theory。
扎根理论。
其实他这么发音，我也觉得挺奇怪的，不应该叫扎根。
Okay, you're using grounded theory, right? Because I was just now you didn't get me to grounded. Using grounded theory. Okay, grounded theory, there's no correlation. Grounded theory, right? You're putting there. I think somewhere I saw where is this? Is this the one? I saw correlation somewhere. So grounded theory, there's no correlation, right?
Grounded quantitative.
Huh? Quantitative grounded. You can create a new grounded theory. You can create
A new combined theory. Research
you talk about correlation somewhere just now, Hansen. Where did you talk? Okay, again, so grounded theory, there is no correlation. Now you got to decide now, Hansen, whether you want to do qualitative, quantitative, or both. You can do sequential, right? If I understand what you're doing, you want to see academic performance, right? You want to see the link, the connection between cross-cultural adaptability and academic performance. I thought that's a good idea, right? That's good, right? So you have three options, right? You can look at it from grounded theory completely, meaning grounded theory doesn't have quantitative, right? Grounded theory is qualitative, right? So you are just looking at grounded theory, cultural adaptability of the Pakistani postgraduate students, and how they are doing academically, and they will explain. You come up with a theory, grounded theory. You will have come up with an explanation why some Pakistani students do well academically some students do not do well academically in relation with cross-cultural adaptability, right? So you want to see whether there is a connection or not. Maybe some adapted well, but didn't do well academically because they adapt too well. They get married to people over there, right? Possible, right? Possible, right? They get romantically involved and they fall in love and fall out of love,
Yeah.
fall in love again, fall out of love, fall in love again, right? That's very culturally adapted to the society, so they're not sure which one to fall in love to, right? So, there you go.
I want to have this burden.
Or they could also be culturally adapted and also performs well academically, or they don't be culturally adapted, but they perform very well. Right? I know some Saudi students, right? Nothing wrong with Saudi students, that come to Malaysia, right? Women especially, they don't go out. They just rent a condominium here, right? And they pass their PhD. They don't need to. They don't need to adapt to your Malaysian Chinese, Malaysian Malays, Malaysian Indian, Malaysian nasi kandang, Malaysian char kway teow, Malaysian no nasi lemak, no. Just order Grab food, right? There's no cultural adaptability at all, right? There's no need. You just rent a condominium straight from the airport, come to the condominium, stay there, meet my wife is not my wife, my supervisor, right?
Well, I'm thinking whether it happens in Utah or not. Yeah. I'm thinking. And because the husband said, do not mix with other men outside there, right? Because there's no wali there, no that, right? Yeah, so they don't need to culturally adapt. They just focus 100% on academics, and they can still.
Yeah, actually, if just they are major in social science, how this could.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Hey, what happened to Hansen? Hey, Hansen, what happened to your nose? Oh, okay.
If you just
Is that a friend or something?
engineering or maths
Okay.
or something like that,
In the lab.
So there are. I can see four possibilities there, right? So let me show you the options right now, Hansen. You could do sequential. So sequential, what do? You collect the data, the data on. You develop a conceptual framework of cross-cultural adaptability variables and academic performance. You conduct a quantitative research connecting between the cross-cultural variables and academic performance, and you have the results, right? And you take these results, the quantitative results, you go back to the students, postgraduate students, and ask, why is this so? Let them explain. So you have a sequential explanatory research. You have a quantitative, you have the qualitative, right? So I repeat, the quantitative part is where you develop a conceptual framework connecting between cross-cultural adaptability variables, being the independent variable. The dependent variable is academic performance. You look at the connections, you look at the correlations, you look at the statistical analysis. So you see, you get results, right? Yeah, you take this result, the quantitative results, you do the second part, which is qualitative. You ask the 20 postgraduates, 10 masters, 10 PhD students, why do you get the results that you get? And you let them explain. So that is option number one, right? Sequential explanatory research. Start with the quantitative and then you go qualitative. Option number one. Option number two, you do completely quantitative, just conceptual framework between cross-cultural adaptability variables and academic performance, right? And you look at the connection, but your conceptual framework must be sophisticated enough to make it a PhD worthy, but I can see you have about 7 or 8 adaptability variables or composite variables just now, right? So you do have something that is quite elaborate, quite complex, right? You have different adaptability. So you can take that one, operationalize it into variables, right? There's a learning adaptability, there's the food adaptability, yes, you have the weather adaptability, you have the language adaptability, you have all these 3, 4 adaptability variables, you connect it with academic variables and you see the connection correlations, you do a regression analysis, you see multivariate analysis, you see which one is more influential as an independent variable influencing the dependent variable. So you can do that. That's option number 2, right? But option number 2 must also include some kind of theoretical framework that gives you the variables. So the variables must come from some theoretical framework because you will need to connect back to the theoretical framework that give you the variables that you want to test, right? So that will be a deductive research. So you have the first one is sequential, the second one is the quantitative 100%, right? 100% quantitative variables, independent variables, dependent variables, dependent academic, independent is a cross-cultural adaptability variables. I think you have 8 or something variables in there, right? Yeah, can you scroll down to the adaptability, the conceptual framework. You have academic adaptability, social-cultural adaptation, language adaptation, interpersonal communication adaptation, psychological adaptation, daily adaptation, natural environment adaptation. Right? How come you don't have food there? You have food. Where's food? See, Yuan Ling there says she's adapting to Ferrero Rocher. It's very Malaysian food there. So, name is also Ferrero Rocher, very Malaysian name. Malaysian kan? Kalau Malaysian is first. Malaysian kan lah.
Yusuf Tayyip.
Malaysian should be Farid Rashid or something like that. Ferrero Rocher, right? Or Fong Malaysian. It can be Malaysian Chinese, right?
Okay.
But are a bit hard to translate. So you have this 8 that can be your independent variable, right? They're under adaptability of Pakistani postgraduate in China there, right? I cannot see that one, but so I can see that one. So that can be the independent variable. The dependent variable can be the achievements there. Chinese proficiency, ability to obtain information, scientific research ability. I don't know how you're going to measure that, but that can be variables, right? Social activity, mobility, ability, social activity. You want to be careful, yeah, because achievement can overlap with your adaptability. Social activity, ability, what does it mean? Then if that can overlap with social cultural adaptation, then it becomes problematic. Maybe you want to remove that, do not measure that, just put under independent variable. The social activity ability can also be an indicator of adaptation, right? Independence, okay, I'm not sure independence is an achievement, but it's okay, you can put the achievement, you can argue it out. So that is option number 2, Hanchan, right? Option number 3, you go qualitative 100%, which is grounded theory. Grounded theory is 100% qualitative, there is no quantitative, right? So qualitative, if you do grounded theory, then you can do the induction method, you are doing inductive research strategy, by the way, right? You do the Excel coding, the coding this, coding that, right? There are 3 types of coding, right? Open coding, Excel coding, and the other one, forgot what coding, so you have that. So grounded theory is another way, right? You can choose those one. You do not. The way I look at your work right now, if you want to do grounded theory, you got to remove the word correlation. You want to remove the word correlation. You hear me, Hansen? Correct? You got to remove the word correlation. You got to remove the word conceptual framework. Grounded theory doesn't have conceptual framework, right? It doesn't start with conceptual framework. It's an inductive method, doesn't start with conceptual framework. Strauss will be very angry if you have conceptual framework in your beginning. Grounded theory is similar to abductive in some ways, right? They do not have conceptual framework. What else? So, but if you want to measure the achievement, right? You could still get the data from achievement, but you do not do. You don't. Grounded theory is about asking why, how, what from the person, from the informants, right? So the informants will tell you, what the data is, but you can also use the data from the results that they get, right? So the academic achievements, English proficiency, you could use that, and then you ask them why is that you can speak Chinese so well? Why is it you speak? Which part of China are you from, Hansen? Which province are you from?
Xi'an.
Xi'an. Xi'an is
陕西，
陕西 province，
陕西，
Is that north, south, east, west?
Northwest part of China.
northwest。
Who's that?
Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hi, Professor. Hi,
Hey,
Professor.
how are you? I want to find out where to get the implant, the hair implant. Huh?
What?
Assessment.
Hair implant.
To implant the
There was a conversation I had with Jonathan and Mutadi was talking about the Mutadi that does hair implant.
Indira.
In Iran.
Tadi.
Yeah, he did it. And then who said who told me? And then he said Iran is much cheaper, so I got to go to Muhammad and Tamil.
Oh, I see.
But I got to tell Israel, please do not bomb Iran yet, because I want to do a hair implant there.
Please don't bomb me.
Because anytime they have bomb now, they have bomb. Right? Yeah. And but Jonathan told me in China there are a lot of shops. Is that true? Hair.
Implant.
Implant hair implant.
植发，植头发。
Oh, hair plan. Oh,
Oh, hair implant. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
A lot of small institute, or maybe you can call it clinic.
Clinic.
They provide this kind of it.
Then Jonathan said there's a lot in China. Is that true?
Yes.
Huh?
Open
Yes.
the camera, please.
Yeah. There are many of them.
Many. Is this
The
like
needs of population, or the needs of population, or
The needs of the population. Yes.
this is social construction or social problem.
Yeah. It should be.
100 years ago, it's not a problem. But in now, advertisement says it's a problem, so it becomes a problem.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. It's just people are
It's a
just
social construction of the social problem.
maybe
So much so, sociologists like me believe it is a problem.
So you need to have hair. Okay.
Right. Now, what's the most popular cosmetic product in Southeast Asia?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Not sure.
Whitening cream.
Oh, okay.
Whitening cream. Because we are dark, right? You got to be fair. Dark skin is a social problem. You cannot attract a partner, a girlfriend, a boyfriend. A girlfriend cannot have another girlfriend. A boyfriend cannot have another boyfriend. Right? So, because we are dark skin, so they sell whitening. How? They make it a social problem, right?
yeah.
In the UK, they have opposite. They have tanning salon. To be darker. So these women, and now men, I think so, they go into this tanning salon, they sleep in this night, right?
Yeah.
Right? In their bikinis, whatever, they make it.
To
put
make it
this
like a
tanning so that they look dark.
Yeah, human manufactured equipment just provided human manufactured some
The sun
X-rays or this kind of
10, they become 10. Because white pill is a problem in your right?
Yeah.
They define it as a problem. So white is a problem when capitalists say that I can make money of the whites by telling them white is bad, the bad pill. And then they go to the Asian and say, not in China, like China is fair, right? In India, in Southeast Asia, right? They tell you they are dark, so it's a problem. We can make money, make it, whitening skin, right?
Yeah, but Chinese also have this kind of.
Well, Chinese is the hair thing,
They still want to be
but it's worldwide now. It's worldwide. The whole world male believe that if it's your hair is losing, it's a social problem. It's a problem.
Yeah, so I think they were just going to be like the fray of they were just going to be some kind of connection of the rural life or just.
No. The capitalist is making money out of this.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The capitalist is making money.
So I think capitalism were just going to be kidnap this kind of the fray of you are just going to be like living like a peasant.
Yeah.
You have to do this agriculture things for living. So we just embrace the sunrise, the sunshine, and you've been
so you can make money of you telling you're dark, I'll make money. If I make money for you because you're fair, I'll make money. You're thinking you have make money. My mother told me, right, during her time, not just one generation ago, right, women, when they get married, put on a big weight, they say, now she looks much better now because she's no longer thin. She's just more, have more.
It's like dynasty Tang also.
So weight problem is a new problem. It's a new social problem for women. They target the women, right? More men, but men can take more Rochelle here. It's good. So Hansen, you're only one step away from proposal defense, right? You just need to make decision right now. The way I look at your work right now, it looks like your work is leaning toward grounded theory a lot, right? Leaning towards grounded theory. If you want to do grounded theory, you've got to remove those words. Remove correlation. Remove the word variables. Grounded theory is not interested in looking at variables. Variables is a quantitative word, right? Yeah. Remove that word. Remove correlation, remove variable, remove conceptual framework. So because grounded theory is a type of methodology to develop theory, right? You want to develop a theory. Therefore, you want to be able to articulate, be able to construct research questions. Let's look at your research questions again. Let's look at your research question again. So, what challenges do Pakistani postgraduates face in studying and living in China? What are the main areas of difficulty they face? Main areas of difficulty. What are the key factors that affect Pakistani postgraduate studying in China at different stages? How does cross-cultural adaptability? How does cross-cultural adaptability of Pakistani postgraduates affect their academic achievements in living and studying in China? Okay, so now I ask you, Hansen, you're interested to do quantitative or qualitative or both? Looking at translation thing again. Are you interested in looking at quantitative or qualitative or both quantitative and qualitative?
Qualitative.
Qualitative, all right. Wonderful.
Yes.
Then do what I just told you just now, right? Just do the grounded theory. If you're doing qualitative, because you have grounded theory in your write-up, right? So remove those words that are not related to grounded theory, right? And your research right now is about grounded theory, coming up with an explanation and you need to be clear now. You need to be clear, Hanjan, what theory that you want to develop, right? So if I understand what you're doing right now, you're looking at 3 stages of cultural adaptability and academic achievement, right? You take the 1 month, the 6 months, the 1 year. So you can say a theory of cultural adaptability, transformation, and academic achievement, or whatever achievement you want to say. I repeat that: a theory of what did I say? A theory of transformative cultural adaptability, or you use the word adaptability, right? And academic achievement, or whatever achievement you want to use, right? You can talk about academic achievement, you can focus on specific things, right? So, why do I say transformative? Or you can say evolutionary, that's another word. A theory of evolutionary cultural adaptability and academic achievement, right? Why do you say that? Because you're taking kind of a longitudinal, not very long, but what is it? Yeah, you have 1 month, you have 6 months, you have 1 year. So it's like longitudinal theory, so to say, right? Over the period of certain time, you see the evolutionary or transformative, right? Cultural adaptability. So, and you want to say that, and you want to, so that will be the theory that you develop, right? But you've got to make sure that this theory has not been established yet, that there is no theory that looks at what you're looking at right now, which is the transformation of cultural adaptability and its link to academic achievement, or whatever achievement that you want to focus on, right? You must make sure of that. So you have done your literature review, I can see that one. You just want to point out there is a research gap. You must highlight the research gap that your research right now will fill, will study. A gap, a vacuum, or something there that has not been studied, something there that has not been explained. Therefore, you're using grounded theory to explain this connection, this evolution, connection between cultural adaptability and academic achievement, or whatever achievement, and the theory of evolution or transformation of cultural adaptability and the link with achievement, right? You got that one? Anton, right?
Yes,
I-
yes, a little, but I will check the video later. I will think about it. Yeah.
Yes. It's been a long time. You haven't made your proposal defense yet, right? I think this is what is this is not first year, right? The second year now, right, Anjan? Or is it the third year? Hope not the third year. What year are you at now?
Sorry?
Which semester? Which semester are you? Is this the first, second, third, fourth, fifth?
Oh, sorry?
Which semester?
Which semester? It's the 7th semester.
Oh God! Okay, 7th semester. That's bad. You must do it. Do listen to what I have told you just now. Make that decision. If you want to do quantitative, you do quantitative. If you want to do qualitative, you do qualitative. You just told me you want to do qualitative, so stick to grounded theory. If you want to do qualitative, because you have grounded theory work over here, and then you must change your presentation and transform it into a grounded theory research, right? So grounded theory is about explaining the why. You want to know, so you need to have a why question in your research questions, right? You can have what, but why would be more apt, more suitable for grounded theory. Why certain students perform well, have better achievement, and some students have poorer achievements in relation to their cultural adaptability. Right? That is the question you want to ask. That's the essential question you ask. Why do we have these variations or the differences of achievements in relation to cultural adaptability of postgraduate students, Pakistani students, right? And you want to have that also included in your research question. Is that clear? And your research objectives must correspond to your research questions. They cannot be different from your research questions. Yeah? Research objectives must mirror, resemble, look like your research questions. Yeah? So I can see that there are some similar but not not very clear sometimes. Okay, Hanjin, you have questions?
Yes. I did not understand the two options you suggested me because I have some words not here clear.
3 options,
You said
not
I
2.
have
3.
2 options.
I said 3, not 2.
Yeah, two options.
3.
三个
3 options.
三个
3个. I heard two options.
Yeah. 3 options. The first one is mixed method, right? Mixed method. When you combine, first one is option 1. Mixed method. Where you combine quantitative and qualitative. So first option number 1 is to combine quantitative and qualitative. T plus L. Quantitative plus qualitative. That's the first option. Option number 2, right? Option number 2, the second option is you focus completely on quantitative. Option number 3 is you focus completely on qualitative, which in this case is grounded theory. Those are the 3 options. You can relook at the YouTube afterwards that we will upload. You can see that. My thought is, since you have told me that you're interested to do qualitative, then you can go grounded theory 100%. Right? So grounded.
My voice is not clear.
My voice is not clear. Okay. Is it clear now?
Yes, it's clear now.
Yeah, clear. So it's qualitative. Qualitative go grounded theory. Right? So now you want to go back to research questions, reformulate research questions to make sure your research questions are aligned with grounded theory as well. Those questions you have can be used, but it's not enough because grounded theory is also about coming up with a theory, right? And the why question is that it should be there. So why are there different variations in academic achievements vis-a-vis in relation to cross-cultural adaptability? So that should be one of the questions there. Right? Is that okay, Hansen? You got questions? Come on.
No, Professor, I will read you and give some modify on this again.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't look like it's too far away because you're almost there, but you gotta move fast. Yeah? You gotta move fast. You gotta do it quickly. Okay? Remember, grammar theory doesn't have the word correlation there. Seldom do we use the word variables. No conceptual framework. You do not start with a conceptual framework. Okay?
Okay.
So, I'll be waiting for your presentation again. I was thinking just now we could proceed with proposal defense. Not quite yet. You do not have the one that's ready for proposal defense yet. Maybe one more time and then you'll be ready. Okay? Just make it happen this time and just make it happen. So you want to register your name as early as possible to Hanif so that you can make your presentation soon. Okay, Hanjan? Your methodology, I don't have any problem with the methodology. We can say this. See, in grammar theory, even though you have your sampling of 10 plus 10.
Sorry, Professor, I cannot hear.
Cannot hear. It's okay, can you hear now?
Yeah, I cannot hear. I think the connection is not that good. It's not clear.
Okay. I'll have to move on to do this. Am I clear right now? Can you hear me? Am I going to say something now about what?
I don't know. I think the light is not very good.
The light is not good?
Yeah. It's also not very good. It's a VPN.
Okay.
You want to turn off that?
Can you hear me?
Now?
Yes, now it's clear.
Now it's clear. So I'm using my mic now. Okay. What do you want to say? You have a question just now?
No, Professor.
Okay. So you want to register your name as fast as possible to Hanif?
So we're going to make the presentation, next presentation, as soon as possible, yeah? Okay, Hansen? Right? Anyone else has some comments to make or suggestions?
Hansen. No. Come to Malaysia. Come to Penang. Can you unmute something?
Make a commitment to come here, I think, so that we can move faster as well, yeah? So,
Mm.